You said $52 million settlement by JBS with the Congress before even hearing started. What was the $52 million settlement for? My house is called this.
Don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows.
I'm looking this up on Google while we talk. And what was your statement? You said they're either so guilty that they have 2 hours ago. This is
they are.
Progressive Farmer. Okay, hold on. NCBA disturbed by JBS court settlement. NCBA, I don't think they're really the good guys because they haven't been really doing a good job of representing us. But okay, here we go. From the Progressive Farmer, dated today, which this is being filmed on the 7th of February, 2022 at 10:42 Central Time. Here's what it says. I'm going to read it verbatim. If they take this down, I don't care. From Omaha, leaders from the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, NCBA, said Wednesday that the group was, quote, disturbed by a $52.5 million settlement reached by JBS UA Foods Company and a group of direct meat buyers as part of a large class action suit against the 4 largest beef packers and their subsidiaries. And I honestly don't even know who their subsidiaries are, but the court case
probably some of the like branded stuff, like maybe like Bar S stuff, things like that. That's
the court case in the settlement reached by JBS on Tuesday involves price fixing and constraining the supply of fed cattle by the big 4 packers. No fucking shit. The settlement sparked NCBA to question what has happened to the cattle industry's demands for a federal investigation into beef markets going back to 2019, 3 years ago. The court case goes back to at least 2015, 7 years ago, as buyers alleged the packers and their subsidiaries sought to suppress slaughter volumes to drive up the price of beef. We already knew they were doing that. The Department of Justice began investigating the meat packers in 2020. That was because of COVID, as JBS, Tyson, and others acknowledged. And don't forget, JBS Tyson, that's what's stated. There's also Cargill, and who's the 4th one?
National.
What is it?
National.
Is it National?
National.
Okay. Acknowledged in spring 2020 being issued subpoenas for information. USDA, under the Trump administration, also launched an investigation into cattle market practices after a major spread in live cattle and boxed beef prices followed the August 2019 fire in Tyson plant in Holcomb, Kansas, which that's a shocker because they also had a surprise fire in, I think it was also Kansas this last year from, was that also JBS, I think? NCBA and other groups have repeatedly called on the Justice Department to release some findings of its investigation, want full transparency on capitalizations. I don't know what that's supposed to be. What do we got here?
Yeah, tell me what that is.
Man,
those are buzzwords. Those are political words.
This is actually a pretty long article. I'm surprised. Dang. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep going. In quotations, from the want full transparency is a subtitle, is what it looks like in the article. America's cattle producers expect and deserve full transparency on any and all information related to the ongoing market investigations. NCBA encourages the government to finalize its investigation so we can fully understand any damage that may be caused, says Calen Woodall, NCBA's CEO. Dad's in a virtual background. Yeah. It is clear from this settlement that cattle producers still don't have all the information they have demanded and is deserved. No shit. The DOJ has an obligation to finish their investigation. Cattle producers do not have years to wait for the government to determine whether there has been wrongdoing. We demand answers now. Also fair, but that I also realize it's not going to take that. It's not going to be that quick.
They tried to put more of us out of business.
Yeah, the lawsuit in the U.S. District Court of District Court of Minnesota also includes dozens of plaintiffs, quote, direct purchasers, who sued Cargill Incorporated and its subsidiary, Cargill Meat Solutions, JBS, and its subsidiaries, National Beef Packing Company, and Tyson Foods and its subsidiaries. So that's your big 4, like we said before: Cargill, JBS, National, and Tyson. The direct purchasers filed their initial complaints in June and July of 2020 in the middle of the high volatility of cattle prices and box beef prices caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Nope, that was artificially caused. That was not the COVID-19 pandemic. The initial allegations were dismissed, but the various buyers amended their complaint, and the federal court has since denied motions by the Packers to dismiss the claims. Oh, shit. Okay. Now we're getting saucy. The plaintiffs allege the Packers, quote, conspired to drive up the price of beef in order to realize sky-high margins in violation of the Sherman Act, which I'm not familiar with that act. The direct purchasers allege the Packers engaged in price fixing by constraining, quote, constraining the supply of beef in the United States through various means and by engaging in other collusive conduct. Okay. They're probably talking to each other in price fixing is what that sounds like. The direct purchaser plaintiffs agreed to settle with JBS in the case, citing both $52.5 million payment offered by JBS and the company's, quote, extensive cooperation in the direct purchasers' continued litigation against the other meat companies. Oh, wow. So JBS sold them out, it sounds like. Oh, those dirty fuckers. Okay.
David, say that again. I missed it.
It sounds like, let me read it right. Let me read it again. The direct purchaser plaintiffs agreed to settle with JBS in the case, citing both the $52.5 million payment offered by JBS and the company's extensive cooperation in the direct purchasers' continued litigation against other meat companies. To me, that sounds like JBS sold the other three out for $52.5 million and immunity.
Maybe.
I don't know. But that's what it looks like initially. All right. Anyway, along with the money, JBS agreed to provide. Oh, you went downstairs. Provide an attorney to, quote, summarize the principal facts known to it that are relevant to the alleged conduct, market, and industry participants at issue. The proposed settlement memo states, and here we go into the next subtitle: Cattle Producers Frustrated. The case against the Big Four Packers, JBS settlement, and the NCBA's frustration about lack of progress with the Justice Department all highlight the frustrations of cattle producers who have spent the better part of 2.5 years calling for investigations, legislation, and reform to the Packers and the Stockyards Act. Okay, let's start right there. It hasn't been 2.5 years. It's been multiple decades. Let's say 2.5 decades rather than years, and let's begin with that because they've been squeezing our balls every single year since then. Anyway, highlighting the frustration, a cattlemen's group often at odds with NCBA or RCAF USA on Tuesday also released a letter from 16 state attorneys general at the end of 2021 to Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, outlining problems producers face and pressing Vilsack to help find solutions. In short, the lead law enforcement officials from those states told Vilsack that they have significant, quote, significant impact on agriculture market concentration but need financial resources to build their cases against Packers. All right. To that end, USDA should consider using funds appropriated through the American Rescue Plan Act in 2021 to establish a grant that state antitrust enforcers should avail themselves of for the purpose of the investigation and bringing actions in agricultural markets. The letter's significance, I'm going to skip that part because I don't think that's that important. More to investigate. Here we go. Next subtitle. In addition, the attorneys general asked USDA to consider investigating whether alternative marketing arrangements and vertical integration is in livestock matters markets distort price discovery. I'll read that again. In addition, the attorneys general asked USDA to consider investigating whether alternative marketing arrangements and vertical integration in livestock markets distort price discovery and other market conditions. Okay. AMAs may appear beneficial to producers because at least initially they provide a premium or a bump in the cash markets, but they do not provide a fixed price, nor are they made publicly available for bidding by interested producers, the AG said in their letter. Instead, they're exclusively, continuing in the letter, exclusive in offers to specific producers and tied directly to prices discovered through regional cash markets or other price in. Oh wow, this is a word I've not seen before. Indices, INDICES, other price indices.
Indexes. It's like an index. It's the plural of index.
Oh,
Indices.
okay, gotcha. Okay, so through regional cash markets or other price indices, such as those provided by third-party data services that the packers and processors can influence and even manipulate with coordinated efforts. Oh, shocker. When there's only 4 of them, it seems pretty easy. This creates a problem for all producers. No shit. Thank you very much, Captain. Fucking obvious. The attorneys general said, while there is a need for market reforms, there is no substitute for maintaining a vibrant and open spot market. Okay. Especially to the extent the AMAs tie pricing to a cash market. Numerous regulators, continuing in the letter, have a role to play in ensuring the agricultural markets are fair and competitive, the AG said. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what we've been saying from the beginning. The White House opened 2022 with President Joe Biden laying out plans to address what are seen as unfair market practices by meat packers. Biden said the price spread between what packers receive and what cattle producers receive, quote, reflects a market being distorted by lack of competition. Yes, 100%. That's the end of the article. 100%. They are driving prices up on their end, but they continue to suppress our end, which is the producer. Yeah, it's been happening for a long time. I'm glad you're finally seeing it, but what are you going to freaking do about it? I'm going to change.
And that's the problem. Here's the other issue with that is, yeah, you can have them get more in line with the stoppage of predatory type marketing practices on their part and running the prices up. They can bring those prices down a little bit. All that's going to occur when that happens is that they're going to make less profit, but we're still going to make no profit till they still drive us out. It just takes a little bit longer. So you've really accomplished nothing if that happens, other than make them look like, oh, okay, well, we're complying now, and still have the same net effect where people are losing their inches in order to, try to weather a storm that is artificially placed there. It's just the veracity of that storm is going to be reduced a little bit. It's just kind of like a it's a wind gust with taking a breath and then getting ready to go again. Now, that is if our Department of Justice, the USDA, all of those entities that are supposedly overseeing these people actually do their freaking. Whenever I hear someone say that, one of the things they do is they recommend, that they consider, they should, that means nothing.
No, it really
that's a zero. That's language.
It's also a government thing. Like I learned that in the Army. I can suggest something to a commander, but it's up to the commander to make that decision. I can't do shit unless that commander follows through with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it is. So I thought you'd like that information. Your mom called me this morning. And
got me all
said,
fired up now.
It's on the news.
Good job.
JBS $52 million settlement before, but it's before anybody knows anything about it. So, what are the details of that? That's what I'd like to know. JBS is a bad actor in they're I don't know who's worse, honestly, but they're horrible because they're also, they're hedging their bets and they're going into this non-meat shit.
Let's be real here. First of all, this is where I would love to take tactics that the Soviets and the Nazis had incorporated in the World War II and hang people by piano string. But anyway,
right.
Realistically
because they deserve it.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's not unwarranted. And people can take this down all they want. I don't give a shit. I'm just getting sick and tired of people taking advantage of other people. That's what it is. It's not even the fact that they're coming after our lifestyle and who we are, but it's also just the fact that people are taking advantage of other people. But what you said, I think
control.
National,
you control food, you control everything.
Yeah. Which one is it? National and is it Cargill are the American ones? There's 2 American and 2 Brazilian, essentially.
I get them mixed up. I think JBS
JBS is
for
Brazilian for
sure
sure.
is
Yeah.
Brazil, right? I think I shouldn't say because I'm not. I forget.
I don't remember either. I know for sure JBS
But
is, but
that's
here's my point.
I think they well, you're talking about controlling interest outside of the U.S. I
Well,
think they've
no,
all got, don't
I'm
they?
talking. Well, I know what you're talking about. My point is though is that I can understand an outside influencer from the United States, somebody who's not from the United States is what I'm making a point of.
Yeah.
Somebody who's not from the United States has this giant corporation within the United States that is taking advantage of the situation and trying to maximize profit. It's a business thing. I get it. I understand. But at what point do you look at the other two? I'm pretty sure there's 2 out of the 4 that are American owned still for now. And I look at those two, I'm like, when are you two going to stand up and be like, no, these are my people? Like I stand with my nation more than I do with just trying to rape and pillage price wise, and they're taking advantage. That's what it is. They're just taking advantage to make a buck because the CEOs, the CFOs, the COOs, the board members, they all just want millions of dollars in their pockets. So they don't have to work for the rest of their lives. Their grandkids don't have to work for the rest of their lives. Their grandkids don't have to work the rest of their lives because they're going to rape and pillage, and literally rape and pillage everybody because we're going to lose farmers and ranchers day in, day out. We're going to end up talking about this in the episode that we're about to film, but they are literally killing ranches every freaking day because they are forcing people to sell out because they have no option. There's nothing left.
Short-sightedness, right? Short-sightedness.
Well, I mean, we talked about that too.
I don't know. You keep freezing up on me.
I know you keep freezing up on me too. I don't know what's going on. I think it's your internet because mine's actually going well right now.
I should go check to make sure I've gotten my phone off of the Wi-Fi.
The big point though is it's frustrating because I mean we're gonna talk about it, but there's another ranch near us that's YouTube famous. They're about to lose out. You're watching this giant snowball come your way or this avalanche, and it's really hard to like try and not get fazed by it. And at what point do you start going to extraordinary measures to try and push through it? I don't know. But the other thing too we've talked about before is they're going to push all of us out as actual meat producers, and it's going to become factory created meat, and that's not good for people.
Right.
It makes them 100% dependent on the government, the system. It's not healthy for their bodies. Like there's so many issues I have with factory farmed meat that.
Right. Well, because it does become all about production. Doesn't matter the means of how it got there. Weight is weight.
Right. Well, and I saw somebody on Twitter today. They posted a billboard from Texas. The billboard was halved. On one half, it showed a cow. Like one of our more feminine looking cows is really pretty looking and just kind of staring at the driver. And there's open range in the background. Then on the right hand side, there's no cow, and it's just like a city with like factory stuff. And it's like real, actual produced meat and factory produced meat. It's showing, real being the female cow, the feminine cow that's beautiful, and then the factory produced just showing like smoke going up in the air. Which also I think is hilarious because we talk about, furthering the environmental impact, making sure everybody's safe and all that stuff. But yet we're going to create factories to do that. Really? You really think factories are going to produce less carbon dioxide and all the other stuff that you say cows are horrible about, but you're going to say that they're going to produce less than the cows will? Like, I don't buy it. I really don't. Not even close.